Hello and welcome to another episode of Authentically You. Before we get started, if you have been tuning in, welcome back. And if it's your first time joining us, well, welcome. We're glad you're here. And if you can, click the like button and also maybe subscribe just to let us know that telling stories about real people doing their thing is important and valued in this wackadoodle climate that we live in today. So, if you don't know, I am Anna, also known as the Black Pants Girl, because legit, that is all I own. I have one pair of emergency jeans and they are behind glass. So I'm just going to be real on that. But tonight I'm actually going to be introducing you to two amazing people. This is my first couple interview, so I'm super excited about that. I adore these people because they, first of all, I think they are just the sweetest little couple in the world. They're just good people. They make an amazing product. And they have qualities of both of them that I don't think they realize how valued they are in just a community sense. And I will tell them about that this time. So you're gonna have to deal with a little bit of fangirling on my part, and that's okay. A little bit goes a long way. But we're gonna meet two people who are living their own truth, doing it their own way. So let's connect as I introduce you to tonight's guests, Ashley and Andrew say it again.
Mrozkowski.
Mrozkowski. Oh my gosh. I almost said exactly what I was going to say, which is Mrozkowski. Which is
so hard.
That's where I was so close. I was like, darn, I'm in the ballpark, but I'm still fishing around for it. Well, hi guys.
Hi, Anna.
How are you?
Thank you for having us. We're so happy to be here. And we are not that physically far apart, but it is nice to see you over Zoom.
It is. It is. We are both, all three of us are in Knoxville, Tennessee, for those of you who are watching, maybe not from Knoxville, Tennessee. And
you can tell by the paint, we're actually all in the same room.
It is very similar. Yeah.
We are maintaining a safe distance, though.
We are significantly socially distanced in the small little living room that we were in, so it's nice. And I guarantee you the four dogs who have been really good today, as soon as I start talking to you, will start going apeshit crazy. So just be forewarned. But it's great to have you both. And so I love to jump right in and actually just get to know or you guys get to share a little bit about your backstory and where you guys both kind of came to where you are now. So where are you both from originally? I'm assuming, are you both Knoxvillians? I don't think so.
Actually, no.
No, I'm from Maryville.
Okay.
And graduated from Heritage High School. Moved to California.
Oh, wow.
Graduated college.
Yeah.
And then moved back to Knoxville. Wanted to be close to family, but not on top of family, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does make sense. Yes, absolutely. Okay, very interesting.
And I'm from the little town of Asheville, North Carolina.
Nice.
And graduated high school there from AC Reynolds in 19.
Trust
went
me.
to college in Greensboro for my undergraduate degree in music.
Oh, wow.
And then did some post-grad work in Raleigh, centered around computers, and worked in the software industry for most of my adult life.
Wow. Well,
I convinced him to come on to this side over the mountains.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, moved to Knoxville 8 years ago.
Wow. Well, very good. Well, I'm glad she did that. It's a wonderful thing what love can do, to be honest.
Right.
She made a good pitch.
Hey, well, good. Honestly, and trust me, if you have not tuned into this wonderful couple's YouTube, not just YouTube. Well, have you done the YouTube thing? Yes, you have. You've got TikTok. You have got Instagram. You have got your Facebook page. Like, you guys are all over the map, which is great because it's so accessible. So no matter where you want to tune in to watch some really entertaining things, you can. And she makes a really good pitch in general. I'll just say that. If you
She's my star. This is my
Yes.
influencer right here.
For real. No, actually Andrew had done a video recently where he said, if you really want to go far, marry an influencer, because I have a feeling they'll push you in directions you didn't anticipate going and actually keep your spirits high. So I think that that's a reality.
The last 7 months of this pandemic have changed so much.
Oh yeah.
Not just for our business and for the country and the political climate,
right,
but it has we have evolved as a married couple into what this is now, which I don't know that you can really even describe what it is, what we do. But
no, it's so hard to label. I mean, the
bottom line is we have a coffee company.
Yes.
And we make amazing coffee, and we have transitioned that company in what we do over the last 7 months. So we used to
just do events. So because we're a mobile coffee business, we would roll into an event, into maybe a convention center, so to speak, and serve a crowd for a Comic-Con or for a sports tournament or fill in the blank. In 2019, we did 71 events.
Wow.
And so rolling into this year, literally in March, we're driving to a convention center to do a cheerleading tournament. We have 60 gallons of milk in the back of our van.
Right.
And probably
hundreds of pounds of coffee.
And somebody standing on the dock.
Turn
around.
Oh, wow.
It was canceled, and we were shocked. Canceled by the virus?
Yeah.
And needless to say, within a matter of weeks, all of the events were canceled through the rest of the year.
Like that early into it? That early into the virus? They just were like
March 7th.
Wow.
Because one of the biggest transmissions were large groups of people.
Right.
And so, the first thing that most people noticed was, wow, there's no audience at the wrestling match. We're in the South, in case y'all don't know this.
It's wrestling.
There's no audience. There's no tickets for the wrestling match.
Yeah.
And then UFC had a big bout, and there were nobody in the audience.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, baseball was happening without crowds.
Right.
Basketball was happening without crowds. And other people who supported those sports tournaments and those big events like us were out of work instantly.
Yeah. It's so just a lot. So we just scratched the surface of the path that you guys are walking with your lives right now. So let's introduce people who may not know exactly what this amazing coffee is. And I am an avid drinker of this coffee. It's
true, you are.
It's the only thing we brew in our coffee maker. And it's so funny. Share. Their name is Pedal Java. Okay. Yes. And I actually first ran into Pedal Java because I used to work at Pet Safe, and Andrew would come and do the coffee thing there. And even if I couldn't get out there and get my coffee, I sent somebody out there to go get my coffee and bring it back to me. And that's how I first stumbled upon Pedal Java. The neat thing about this concept is, and I'm going to put links to everything on the website, it is, how they have food trucks? This is not a food truck. It is a bike cart situation. It's like a bike thing. So the cart is with them. There is a bike, which is pretty fabulous because I just think that's just the neatest concept in the world. And they go to events, or they show up at workplaces, or they basically bring their entire mobile barista center to you and create amazing creations. And they also, which I think is extraordinary, because at first I thought to myself, well, why is Ashley giving away all of her good recipes on the thing here? And then I realized, because not everybody is actually going to do these things. So she can do it and inspire people to want to try it, which means that they might come and give it from Pedal Java. But if they aren't, they can buy Pedal Java and then try these out at home. So I was like, this is a full circle moment here. Yeah, I know.
It all was because of the pandemic. Literally, we left that cheerleading tournament that had been canceled, and had to find a way to sell all this gear, all
Right.
this supplies.
Right.
And I surround myself with brilliant people. And she said, the most brilliant person in my life said, we should put these together in a basket.
Yeah.
A pound of coffee,
Yep.
some mason jar of cold brew, some pumps of flavors, some of this whipped cream, some of this milk. Put it together, and we'll deliver it to people's door.
Yeah.
All you got to do, she says, is figure out how to make the website convert from a shipping business to a local delivery business.
Sure.
And so my ex-career had a little experience, and I had to dust those skills off and do some custom programming so that our site could do both local deliveries and national shipments.
Yeah.
So we survived on that for, I'd say, a good 30 days, just on the novelty of getting a little mobile coffee shop delivered to your door in a basket.
Which
so
is
that
lovely.
You could make all these drinks yourself. The recipes supported those baskets. That was initially what the idea was.
Yeah.
But my beautiful wife here wanted a cooking show. And so
she
that's
could
when
totally
we started
rock that.
YouTube.
Yep.
We started a YouTube show, spent a lot of time and energy and money into putting together a little set in our warehouse.
Yep.
Good lights, microphone, and it was a 2-person show.
Yeah.
I stood next to her, and it was the married couple making coffee, telling jokes, interviews.
Right.
We had some of our baristas come in, and it was a wonderful show called Cream and Sugar, and nobody watched it.
No.
It was well, I mean, like, we had 100 subscribers on YouTube, and we didn't know how to properly market ourselves on YouTube. And so in the meantime, she said, well, why don't you get on the other side? I started a TikTok.
Yeah.
Film me making a coffee recipe in 60 seconds or less on TikTok.
Yep.
And well, she found her groove, which was me on the recording side. And might I say that that's when I realized that this is the star here. And within months, she had thousands of followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
And within days, Anna, she'll have 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Oh,
it's growing that fast.
I have to say, if you, the moment you see her smile, and she usually starts with, "Hey y'all,"
hey y'all.
It's so.
I can do a good impression. Hey y'all.
That's it.
It's a lot of arm movement. Like
there is a lot of arm movement.
Guy.
I am impressed with her amount of arm movement, because honestly, as a dancer, I'm always like, how do you incorporate more movement into your life? Well, she is doing it. I mean, Ashley, you've got it.
You just drink a lot of caffeine.
A lot of caffeine.
And it powers you. It overcomes you.
It's coming out of fingertips.
It is a lot of fingertips, honestly. I mean, there's the minute you see your smile, you're like, I want to know what she's doing. Who is this person? What is going on with her? And it's funny. The part of me that was like, and I think it goes with the culture now, that the 60-second clips are where you get, it's a lot like a drug deal, where, I know that sounds so strange, but
no, it doesn't.
You give them a little taste of something, and then they want to know more about you, and then they might go back and watch these shows that you did that were great, because now they're interested. It's like, it's almost like you've got to give them a little taste first, and then once they're hooked, you reel them in. And that's part of the journey with how you meet someone or introduce or connect with another person.
That's true.
And those little quarantine kits that were locally delivered before long, I mean, we kept all those customers, and we have great loyal customers like yourself.
Yeah.
But because of the TikTok, now we ship coffee all over the nation every single day.
I am absolutely sure. And I think that actually that is probably the most heartwarming thing for me to know, that you guys that you guys found more of a following beyond just Knoxville, because while Knoxville's cool and awesome, we are we're a city that's more like a town, right? Yeah. And I try to explain that to people, because when they look at Tennessee's map, they always are like, oh, well, Knoxville's one of the big cities there. And I'm like,
the biggest city.
Right. But when you are from like I grew up an hour outside of New York City, nothing like that at all by any sense. It's a little more like where I grew up, which I appreciate because the culture is there, but it's still small enough where you know people and you can connect. And I wasn't prepared for the amount of orange in this time in my life.
Lots of orange.
There's a lot of orange. It's a real
lot
thing.
of orange. It's funny how in Knoxville there's always a connection. Like,
yes.
Okay, so I met this person, I delivered them coffee. Well, we have a mutual friend that's so and so, and
oh, you're Sarah's cousin.
Yeah, yes. It's a big little town.
It is, but you still know everybody.
Yes, and there's so many 6 degrees of separation in this town. It's not even funny.
True.
So for sure, that's true. So you guys, where did the idea for Pedal Java even germinate? Where does that seed get planted? Where does it start to grow? How does this even happen?
Well, that's a long story.
It's a long story, but I'll start the long story.
That's cool.
We had I was a very anxious girlfriend. I was ready to get married, and I guess it was about 6 months before I turned 30. This very dapper dude asked me if I wanted to be his wife in DC. And of course I said yes. And what he didn't know is I had been planning. I was ready for him to ask.
The dress was picked out.
I mean, like, I was ready. And we come back from DC, and within 2 days I bought my wedding dress. Like, that's how ready I was.
You were ready, girl.
And so 3, maybe 4 days after we get back, there was a bridal show at the Knoxville Convention Center. And so, of course, I'm dragging him to this within days. I mean, I think he thought he was going to get a break, but no, it was time to go. And so I drag him in, and I'll let you tell where you had been the night before.
Well, I mean, I had been celebrating with my boys and tied a few on and had a couple soda pops, as they say. And I only wanted a strong cup of coffee at this bridal thing, but she wanted me to have some barbecue. And
I don't sound like that, first of all.
No. Have some wedding cake, try this fondue, and I really wanted coffee. That's all I needed. Yeah. And we looked around for like a wedding vendor that had coffee or had a coffee bar, and there was nothing like that. So we decided when we were married, we would look into the idea of starting a mobile coffee business.
I think that's awesome.
And then I built the first one, literally, which you saw at Pet Safe. That's how long I've known you. That was the very first one I ever built, and I built it in the aisles of Lowe's on Clinton Highway.
Wow.
Literally, I have pictures of me with a bunch of old dudes in blue vests helping me try to figure out how to build a little tiny kitchen on wheels.
And that's awesome. And I'm glad that they were there to help you. Did they give you odd looks when you were like, so I want to build this thing and this is what I needed to be able to do?
You know, 5 years later, our 5-year anniversary is coming up of the business. And 5 years later, I still have to explain to people, well, it's a big tricycle with a little coffee shop on the back. And it's all inspected and it's insured. And believe me, it looks sketchy, but it's really good coffee.
Well, anything that doesn't look like what people anticipate is always.
There was another guy here in town. He's still here. He's got a retail shop called Golly To Mom. And he had a tricycle-based tamale business that would show up at events with these homemade tamales that people loved. And now he's got a retail space in the old city. And so there was some precedent here for a bicycle-based food or beverage vending company.
Absolutely. And I honestly, I think starting at that level in what creating kind of more of a niche kind of like experience for people who have never existed before. Like I would see you guys show up at like when Market Square would have some things and you guys would be on the street doing the vending. And I was like, these are all good moments because like you said, if you want a good cup of coffee, what are our options at this point? You go to Starbucks and, you know, a lot of people have their opinions about Starbucks. I mean, I'm not going to hate or not hate, but it is, a lot of people say that their coffee tastes burnt. That's how they phrase it.
It's their trademark.
Is that their trademark?
And I give them the credit for knowing that their specific taste that they're trying to sell is a very astringent sort of acidity.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like if you were popping popcorn in your microwave at home.
Right.
And if you pop it until every single kernel cracked twice.
Oh God.
It would be very burnt, right?
Yes.
That's what they do with their coffee beans is they basically double crack till every bean cracks twice. And that's why it tastes smoky.
Okay.
But the thing I can say about Starbucks is they taught people to value coffee.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for them.
Regardless of
corporate coffee.
Yeah. No, and I get that. And you have to I mean, I always say like it doesn't matter how you get to where you are as long as you get there. And whether that inspiration comes from wanting to do something a little differently or just wanting to take it from a different perspective, because maybe you heard that people were like, well, this is how I love coffee, but I'm not really keen on their style of coffee. So you can give something different.
Well,
I think
blessed. Knoxville has an amazing coffee culture.
We do. We do.
More craft coffee shops in Knoxville than any city our size.
It's true. Yeah,
and
it's
most
true.
of them are great.
I agree with you. There's some really, really good coffee companies out there, and like just coffee places and bars. And I mean, we're really diverse in that aspect. We've become the brewery town too, which which I don't know. I mean, it's great and all, but I'm kind of like at some point it's like, how much more different types of beer can we have? But
don't challenge them. They'll come up with it, girlfriend.
They will.
It's a whole different crowd. You got your coffee people and you got your beer people. There's a little bit of overlap in the middle. But
I'm definitely a coffee person, so I appreciate you being here for. I mean, I and it's terrible. It's funny. I once said to somebody, "I'm the worst German because I don't drink beer," and my one friend finally said to me, "Anna, I want you to really think about that statement. You weren't really the worst German, are you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not, but yeah, I get that. But
they make some delicious wines in Germany too.
They do. Yes, and my father's from the area of Germany where the Rhine River, where Riesling is from, and stuff like that. So I grew up with a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I will just tell you, because Ashley and I have talked about this, because at one point you will go to Germany, and I'm going to manifest that for you. If you're not a big beer drinker, they do like their coffee, so you're going to be fine on that side. But if you're not a big beer drinker, you're going to get really sad when you see people served these giant containers of beer, and then you order like a soda and it's like a thimble, and you're like, oh, so this is where we're at, right?
This is what we're doing.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not. You basically are like, man, I wish I liked beer, but wine will be fine. You got that covered. So, so that's how all of this started. And then now, because of the pandemic, you guys have had to think outside the box and actually sort of expand the business, probably in ways that you didn't anticipate necessarily. But you guys, when you first started, you guys were you roasting your own coffee from the get-go, or was that something that came about along the journey?
It journeyed. It journeyed from the get-go. I sampled all of the local roasters in Knoxville, including those in my hometown of Asheville, North Carolina.
Sure.
And I had some fantastic coffees in Knox County. There's a delicious roaster in Blount County that does amazing coffee. I tried everybody's, and I really fell in love with this little family-owned roastery on campus, on UT campus, called the Golden Roast. And they had just begun craft roasting. It was new to them. And I thought, also I should mention, it was $1 cheaper than everybody else.
Right.
I shouldn't say that.
But that's a real thing.
The prices have gone up, I assure you. But in the early days, that extra $1 to a small businessman meant a lot.
Absolutely.
And so I bought his coffee. and it was Golden Roast, and I was very proud to say that this is roasted in Knoxville, Tennessee, from a company that's been in business serving the campus for over 20 years. And then over time, our needs grew so much, and especially during since the pandemic, I'd say maybe 60% of the coffee roasted there at the facility is ours.
Oh wow!
And
That's awesome.
the roasts are specifically tailored for our coffee beans that we have sourced in for our customers. We share the equipment, and we purchase beans together to save money.
Of course.
But the Golden Roast is our roasting partner.
Nice.
Ashley and I don't personally touch every bean that goes through that roastery. Our master roaster, Dan, does all that work. But it is all like custom profiled and custom tailored, crafted just for our 15 varieties we have now.
Awesome.
Wild.
Yeah,
it is wild.
We started our first label, which was our House Espresso, about 2 years into Pedal Job.
Wow.
And before then, we just used only coffees designed for the Golden Roast.
Yeah.
And then we started blending and roasting our own in 2017.
Yeah.
And then from there, it increased. This is a funny story, though. At the beginning of the pandemic, in March, back when they locked everything down, we were actively promoting 5 varieties of coffee that we roasted for our events. And outside of selling a few bags a weekend, we did not have a very busy coffee roasting business.
In fact, one of our goals for 2020, when we plotted what we wanted to accomplish this year, we really wanted to work on our bean business, right? We had a 5-year plan of working on our bean business for, say, retirement. Now, we did not know that 5 years was going to be squeezed into 5 months.
That's right. Yeah.
Here we are.
Yes. No, this year has felt like 5 years, to be honest. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. And I think, I mean, basically both of you, because I know that Ashley, you went to school and have your degree in psych, and Andrew, you said you were a music major and you have computer science background, stuff like that. You know, at the end of the day, you kind of both followed a passion, and you're doing your profession based on that passion. Not that you don't use all of those skills that you've attained through your education. You do. I mean, you're running a website, you're doing, you're trying to appeal to people's sense of comfort. I mean, to be honestly, coffee is a comfort. It's a comfort thing. I mean, that nice warm cup when you wake up in the morning can set your tone for the whole day. And I'll just be honest, if that wasn't true, there wouldn't be so many darn bumper stickers that influence you to remember that you haven't had your coffee yet. So please don't even bother with me.
That's true.
It's a fact.
All of our skills got reused in different ways. Even my music skills, we produce music for these clips we do. And the YouTube was in particular a good friend of mine, a local guy who directs the Joy of Music School volunteer program downtown off 398, exit 398. We've been making music together since I moved to Knoxville.
Oh wow.
And we produced original music. We were together in our warehouse last night recording music for upcoming clips.
That's awesome.
So all of those skills get used.
They do.
Yeah, and that's what I say. And I try to explain to people that it's up to you how you choose to use the stuff, the knowledge you have, and don't feel boxed in by it. Like honestly, just having the piece of paper that says, hey, I've done all of this work, doesn't necessarily pigeonhole you into one specific type of life. You determine it. That's really where this is about.
We both had corporate careers before Pedal Java. I mean, I worked for a cell phone company and was a retail area sales manager. I did a lot of tech work in their operations department. And then he was a software developer. And so, you know, we both had our own skill set. We both had experience managing people.
And we weren't scared to pick up TikTok and try to figure out how it worked.
Yeah.
And how we could use it to showcase her.
Absolutely.
Well, no, I would say, and this is from the corporate world, this is a fact.
Yeah.
Every day, I'm such a coffee fanatic that I was taking in locally roasted coffee into my job. I was taking little gadgets to brew specialty coffee in the break room, and I would share that with my coworkers and my best friends at work. And that a lot of those tricks and tools were just transitioned onto this coffee bicycle. That's how it worked. That's the seed of the idea came from the break room.
Oh, so, absolutely.
After 20 years doing this career, the only thing I looked forward to every day was that coffee break. And
I get it.
It sounds like a joke, but that's the honest truth. I realized at that moment, this is the only reason I like coming to work is the coffee. I got to find something new. I got to find something that brings me that happiness that I get in that 15-minute break twice a day.
So would you say that that was your aha moment for making the transition?
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. And also like just discovering that there wasn't something like that in the South.
Right.
There
Absolutely.
are, believe it or not, Anna, there is a very big coffee bike franchise in Germany. The biggest in the world.
Interesting.
The biggest in the world. And they're called Coffee Bike. And they make beautiful bicycles that make specialty craft coffee drinks just like we do. They were very expensive to import to the United States, and you had to be in a franchising agreement.
Okay.
I had seen little carts pictured in India in the cities where they make chai, not coffee. But every cart had its own style and its own personality, and the operators would dress to match them with their family recipe.
Yeah.
And he picked up some of that too. But chai in the South is just, well, I mean, it's like farting in church. It don't always fly. But I thought if we did it with coffee, that it would be a success.
Absolutely.
And in spite of a long, hard fight to make it a success, we finally did. And come COVID, there were parts of us that were just devastated by that. But there was another aha moment that came. And after a while, once you become an entrepreneur, once you become a small business person, you seek out these aha moments.
You do.
Because they really stretch you.
Yes.
And they expand your abilities, and they give you that confidence that you can do anything. So when COVID happened, of course, the first few nights we cried ourselves.
Oh, I'm sure. Because I mean, if you think about it though, like you had built your whole business about really at that time going out to these events, and when that is pretty much stripped away from you, it's terrifying. And Ashley, what was your aha moment to say, I'm going to go into this with him and just go I'm all in at this point?
Well, I realized really early on when we were dating that we were two very different people from a business perspective. Okay. Right. So he is a risk taker and the spender in a business situation. And I am the saver. And that goes for marriage too. Okay.
Yeah, no, I get
it. I'm the saver. I am very calculated. Right.
Cautious.
Very cautious. Yeah. And so I realized
both sides
together we could be incredible. Right.
Both sides are so vital. That's right. It is why yin and yang exists. It's why balance is there. With both of those aspects to the equation, there is nothing you can't do. And I'm so glad you guys recognize that. Because
well, actually, she holds the purse strings, so there is a lot I can't do. Okay, I'm basically on an allowance.
Right, I get that.
For coffee gear.
Yeah.
But the good news is it's helped us learn how to repair things better, learn how to make things last longer, find deals when things go on sale. We stock up on them, things that we use on a regular basis. So now as her husband, I find myself looking for those bargains. Hey, did you see that the distributor has a sale on white chocolate?
Right.
You're having a Christmas white chocolate party. We should probably get that white chocolate.
True. It is true.
So you and when you see those, you plant the seed, and it tickles her fancy because she's the one who's thinking with the budget in mind and going, actually, that's a great idea. So you guys are both hitting the same target. It's just how you all get there. And Ashley, I admire you for going with a risk taker, because I am that person in my relationship. I am the person who's very unafraid to leap off of a building, and I am known, when I was teaching dance and producing shows regularly, that I was the girl that would push people off cliffs, and that was not real. I mean, I didn't really actually do that to people, but like anytime someone would express the desire to do a solo or wanting to do something that they were afraid of, I'm like, let's do it. It's good. Let's do it. And they would be terrified. But at the end of the day, it was what they wanted. They found their root, their passion, their joy. And honestly, that's where it's all about. So I admire you for taking that risk.
She saw some money potential, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
It terrified me though.
Of course.
After about a year, I dragged her to help me at an event, a large event.
Yeah.
She used to come to Knoxville every year. And she got there, and I literally, her eyes turned into dollar signs like Scrooge McDuck. Her eyes turned into dollar signs. And she said, oh my gosh, there's a lot of people here, and they are all buying our coffee. Yep. And I'm going to call into work, and I'm going to get a replacement to fill in. Yep. And I'm staying here. I'm going to make drinks with you. Yeah. And after that weekend, I think you were like,
that was it.
We should focus on big events.
That was it.
And that's where the accounting department was formed.
I get it.
And the HR department and tech support. And, you know, so it's a two-man team at Pedal Java, but she does most of the work.
That's not true.
You know what? There's a balance in it. And honestly, that's really what makes a partnership, not just in a marriage, but also if you guys work together well in a marriage, and you're both on the same page with whatever journey you're going to take together, whether it's a business or venture or something that is related to the business, like making your promotional videos and things like that. If it is a good fit, there's nothing you can't do. And honestly, it's really about balancing each other out, for sure. So I am going to ask a couple of very interesting coffee related questions, because as you know, they run for people who are tuning in, they run a Sunday coffee talk kind of right now, where they will talk about products that are coming out, which is fantastic because they've got a lot of really nice seasonal kind of coffees and flavors and stuff that come out. And they also answer questions from people who grew up knowing that coffee was served at pinochle games by your godparents to your parents at the middle of the, like, literally I grew up watching SNL because my parents played pinochle with my godparents. That's really what we did. Funny. And they would always they'd start off the night with screwdrivers and end the night with coffee. And I was always like, isn't this counterintuitive? Because like you're drinking caffeine and now you're about to go to bed. I don't understand that, but
it's so Yankee though.
It is it's so Yankee.
It is so Yankee. My goodness.
I know.
Now, if you can't tell by my last name, my father is from New York.
Aha, that makes sense.
And he moved down to the South.
Okay.
And stayed in the South.
Yep. Honestly, the South is my second home because I've been here almost 20 years. Well, actually 20 years at this point. But growing up north, I love having both of those kinds of sides of myself. I think they're really nice. I don't miss the stress of up north. It's a lot more stressful up there. It really is. Everything's very fast paced. And I will never forget my first husband, which, God, I sound like Liz Taylor. Anyway, but my first husband, we were really young. And then I moved down here and I talked to him on the phone the first time. And I went, has he always talked that fast? Oh my God. Like I had to concentrate. I was like, holy mackerel, really? Okay. So it was different for me, but you guys are Southerners, even though your father moved from up north to here. So do you have a lot of people who, first of all, I want to ask a quick question about something you guys had brought up in one of your videos. And I'm also going to give you guys a promotion because you need to, if you haven't checked these people out, you've got to go into their deep dive on their Instagram and watch some of their video remakes, which are amazing. And I'm talking music video remakes. So if you are my generation who appreciates some good music videos, you've got to go see this. I'm just going to ask anyone who is watching now to please, if you have to pause this and go find those, do it, because it's the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, they're really doing this, aren't they? All right, good.
It's just a lot of wigs.
A lot of wigs.
That's
yeah, but
what it is
to
so
even
big.
have the desire to do it and think, hey, let's do this, and
That was
it puts you.
fun.
I was driving down the road and it was B97.5, the slinging the oldies here in
Yeah.
Knoxville, and they played the Bananarama song, Cruel Summer.
Yep.
And it was pandemic was like, it was gonna, to me, it just hit a chord. This is gonna be a cruel summer.
Yeah.
And I went to her and I said, do you still have that Dickies coverall? She goes, yeah. And I said, get the red bandana and the Dickies coverall, and we're going to make a music video. And she said, I don't think this is a good idea at all. But I stuck with it because mostly I was bored. You know, it was pandemic. We were trying to find something to do. So we did a series of 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Classic MTV music videos.
They're incredible, and I highly recommend people checking them out. They're just a hoot. But you guys had mentioned on a video previously that you hadn't necessarily intended initially to go into the flavored coffee business. Like
Correct.
That wasn't something that you had thought about doing. So what made you, dip the toe into that water and say, you know what, I'm going to do this?
Well, I think really neither of us had ever had flavored coffee that we really liked.
Right, sure.
Honestly, it was just too overpowering, where you couldn't taste the coffee, and we still wanted to taste coffee, even if it was flavored. So the process started, I would say, the first month of quarantine. We decided we wanted to do a devil's food coffee, where it was triple chocolate flavored. And we saw with our distributor that they made chocolate all natural flavoring, 3 different kinds.
Okay.
So we said, all right, well, let's experiment with it. So we roasted the coffee, put the all natural oils on it, let it dry. Oh, it was too much the first time. So then we did it again, and it was not quite enough. And I would say about a week in, we really hit it. And it was so good and so like chocolatey, but you could still taste the coffee. We cold brewed it just to see, okay, could this work hot or cold? It was delicious cold. So we launched it, and it was so popular, and maybe still the most popular of all the flavors.
Really?
And that's what told us, like, okay, we're going to do this with all natural flavoring, not overpowering. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way. And I would say all of our flavors have been tremendously popular and really changed the game.
Well, and I'm going to agree with that. And I think that you hit the nail right on the head. I think a lot of us who want to do flavored coffee are turned off by the overpowering nature of it. So like you might want to have a French vanilla, or you might want to have something that tastes like that, but it's too much of a chemically false kind of and you're like, you don't taste the coffee anymore. Eventually it turns into whatever that flavor is, and then you sort of are losing the real reason of why you're drinking that in the first place. So what I loved
are artificial. And the flavored coffees that you see from a lot of the other coffee roasters online, you see ads for these crazy flavored coffees. Those are using artificial flavorings that literally come from the candy industry. And they are not healthy. But the flip side to that is they have so many flavors to choose from. They can come up with the wildest combinations because they don't use all natural flavorings.
But I think it tastes better. Well, no, absolutely. And it's so funny because Eric, my fiance, was very against when we started like having the deliveries. He was like, I don't want flavored coffee because it's always awful and it's this. And I said, I don't think that this is going to be that way. I said, trust me, I kind of know what they go for. And I said, let's just do it. And I said, here's the flavors. I want you to pick one. I'm going to pick one, and we'll just test this out. And now he doesn't like, the funny part is he goes, so what are the flavors again? Like, honestly, that's the first thing he says when we're about to place the order every month. He's like, oh. He's like, they have that chocolate one, don't they? And I'm like, yes, they do. And now he tunes in with me on the Sunday coffee talks when you're talking about your new flavors coming out. And he goes, well, I wonder what that one tastes like. That now I'm interested in this one. And he was not a flavored coffee person at all. And that is completely different.
Exclusive. Let's give on an exclusive.
Do it.
We have one coming out in a couple of weeks.
Really?
And I'm going to tell you before we tell anybody else.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited.
But, sometimes at Christmas,
yes,
you get those little silver rectangles and you open them up and they are half chocolate. And
yeah, you
my
might
God.
Olive Garden
Sometimes
too.
Yes, they. Oh my God.
Yes.
For real?
My name is Andrew, but a lot of people call me Andy.
Yes.
So those I've always called Andy's Mints.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's not a trademark infringement, right?
No, apostrophe S.
Apostrophe S. Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
So keep an eye out.
The Y.
Andy's Mints will be coming in a couple of weeks.
Well, I will be signing up for that because I am addicted to Andy's Mints, and unfortunately, if I never get them from Amazon because that will be gone in like a weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's just, so I'm up for that totally. Wow. All right, now that's okay. Game changer. All right. Well, this is exciting stuff to look forward to. Yes. And thank you for not doing the absolute basic pumpkin spice flavor you did something a little different, which I value so greatly. You sort of took it from a little different angle.
Yeah, we went Thanksgiving table angle. Yeah. So like you would eat pumpkin pie. You wouldn't eat pumpkin spice. That's just made up. So
it's just more Southern style of the same thing.
Well, it's I really like, and the flavor's called Only Have Pies for You instead of eyes for you.
Right.
And I like it because it's not only just pumpkin, but it's vanilla and it's brown sugar, like what you would get in the crust. And that's the crustiness of it. It's so good.
We use that brown sugar Graham trick a few times. Okay.
Yeah, the
pecan pie, the turkey days, they all have that pie crust taste that we're getting from the Graham and the brown sugar. And to me, it just tastes like grandma's house,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, it's not a overly flavored coffee. It's very subtle, but you still get those notes of childhood at grandma's.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank you for also being so open to what I have lovingly called Dimbo questions, which is, they feel like dumb questions to someone who's not well versed in learning how to navigate making coffee or making it taste like, because I asked specifically, I didn't want to add some weirdo flavor to my coffee just to sweeten it unless I wanted that. So it's like, how can I retain the taste? And I made a video about it. You guys suggested honey. Never in a million years would I have thought to put honey in my coffee.
It's one of my
favorite.
And
but now I won't do anything but
you'll start getting cloverwood honey. You'll get some honeysuckle honey.
Yeah.
And you'll see a local guy on a stand on the side of the road with honey, and you'll say, yeah, I got to get that. It's a honey addiction.
No, for sure. And when you guys said that, I literally thought to myself, are they okay? Are they all right?
Sounds like a couple of hippies.
I was like, what is happening right now?
Smoking cloves and drinking honey and coffee.
But literally, Eric's on the other side. He goes, no, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. I was like, I don't know if we should do that. And when he did it the first time, I was dubious. I really was. He was like, okay, so I made the coffee this morning and it's with honey. So tell me what you think. And I was like, that's the best cup we've had so far because it didn't flavor it in any weirdo way, like, and we didn't have to put as much flavoring in it like if you do sugar or whatever, or because we were doing simple syrup back at that time when we first started with you guys, because I just think it blends better. I don't know, that's just an Anna issue. But and he's like, you're going through simple syrup like a cocaine addict or something. I said, what does that even mean? But Yeah, exactly. He said, you might want to ask them, what other things can we use to get what you're trying to accomplish?
She made a great brown sugar simple syrup recipe
Oh,
on
it's
her
good.
channel.
Wow.
Just simple syrup, but make it with brown. What is it? Heavy, what's it called? Not light brown, but the dark brown.
Just
Yeah,
dark
yeah.
brown sugar.
It's a
Okay.
real molasses-y note to it, but it's still a simple syrup. Keep it
Yeah.
in the fridge.
Yeah, I even put cinnamon in mine, and it really
that's
makes
nice.
it taste very fall. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
No,
I like
absolutely. Well, I tell you what, looking at where you guys have come in this short amount of time, having to totally adjust and now seeing your business take off in a different direction than you necessarily thought it would, or this quickly, is there a particular thing or a accomplishment or even something that you're still a work in progress on that you guys sit back at the end of the day and go, you know, this is good. I'm really proud of what we've accomplished.
We have to remind ourselves to do that all the time. I think just the nature of small business as you
Yeah.
get so into it
Go,
and you go, and you're so critical of yourself instead of looking at your accomplishments. But
Right.
we've always said, as long as we've been in business, as long as we've been together, married, or even before,
Yeah.
what choice do we have?
What choice do we have?
So when we felt kind of pushed up against the wall, what choice do we have? You know,
Right.
we haven't slept in 4 days because you're working an event. What
Right.
choice do we have? And so now on the hard days, I say that to get through, but you know, we do a lot of reflecting. I'm really proud that we are shipping our beans. We've probably shipped to all 50 states,
Yeah.
I would say.
That's
at this
awesome.
point. Last week we sent 4 world's best cold brew kits to Alaska.
That's
which
awesome.
seemed kind of counterintuitive. But, cold coffee is a lifestyle. It's not a temperature.
Right. It
no
is.
judgment.
It is.
But
We've sent them to U.S. embassies.
yeah.
We've sent them
Wow.
to military bases. We've sent them to every state in the country.
Yeah.
And every one of them love having our like Southern culture
Yeah.
in their morning coffee. It's really sweet that we can share parts of living in the South
Yeah.
with people who are in California or in
Mhm.
Maine or in South Dakota or
Yep.
in Alaska.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it reflects what's the best about us as a country, since we're right in the, we're actually filming this during the who knows what election at this point. It's just, it is what it is at this
Right.
point. What choice do we have? So the reality of it is it reminds us that people at the end of the day want to connect, and whether that's through coffee or whether that's through culture or whether that is through valuing a small business, because at the end of the day, you know the people behind that business and you know what they stand for and what they're about. I think the one good thing that came out of 2020 is people actually took steps back a little bit to realize what is around them and what is what is accessible to them, to give them those creature comforts of feeling connected, feeling that you're part of something a little bit more than just the 4 walls that you have to stay in because you're afraid that if you step outside them, you're going to catch a COVID at this point. And I think that that's helped us a little bit. Now, if we can just get past a couple of other things, we'll be on good tracks as a
That's
humanity. But that's,
That's
you know,
right.
neither
I
here
have a
nor there.
lot of confidence
I do too.
in our country.
I do.
And it's the kind of thing that I've loved democracy since I first grasped the concept in civics class in high school. And every year I'll show up to those elections polls just red, white, and blue, ready
Yep.
to like. I have a lot of confidence in America to get
I
through
do
this
too.
climate that we're in.
I do too. And I think at the end of the day, if we can just realize we're all on the same team,
Yes.
at the
Neighbors.
end of the day, because all of these titles, I mean, all of these little divisions don't really matter. It's what's at the heart of us as people. And it's wanting to just connect with other people who have similar ideas that you do. And at the end of the day, if you take some of the big things out of the picture, we're all just trying to be okay. At the
Live
end
and
of the
work.
day.
That's right.
Live and work in peace, right?
That's exactly right. Well, I think that those are really great accomplishments. Now, this is the next question I'm going to ask you guys is an interesting question for both of you because, and I ask it specifically because a lot of times there are people who are watching who need to hear these things too. If you could go back in time and give yourselves some advice, what would be the advice that you would give yourself?
Well,
I know.
a couple of weeks ago, I was promoting our pumpkin coffee product, Only Have Pies for You.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided it'd be a brilliant idea to roller skate in a full pumpkin mask. I would go back to my 2 week ago self and say, that's not a good idea. I fell on my ass so hard. Can I say that on your show?
You can, yes.
I cracked my ass right down the middle.
I'm so sorry.
The warranty is void.
It is, yeah.
What
You
would
can't
tell
take
your
that back
younger
now.
self?
Oh, well, I would probably have to go back a long way. And I think as a woman, sometimes we don't have confidence in ourselves, or we look to get that confidence and inspiration from others.
Right.
But I think I had to go through a lot to get to the point that I'm comfortable and confident in the skin I'm in and able to be a business owner and a wife and an internet personality. I don't know if that's even
it's a thing, and you are that. Yes.
I think just know that it's okay that you're going to go through that journey, and you will become the person you're supposed to be.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
And I'm going to just be honest, Ashley. I think this is a thing that I have learned about women, which I have such a profound passion for seeing women really step into who they're supposed to be or who that they've always wanted to be. It's just one of the things that makes me so thrilled about life. There is, I think, a reason that us as women, as we age and mature and ripen, if our heads come into the game later on, like we get it and we're okay with it, but early on when we're in our 20s and everything is perfect, like I right now say the truck backs over my face at this point, but when I was absolutely stunningly whatever I was an anxiety-ridden crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had my head together and looked that good, there would be nothing that stood a chance against me. So I think it's a balance.
Yes.
We would be unstoppable. Andrew, I'm sorry, you would have had no ability to stop us at that time.
It's okay. I've learned, don't get in the way of headstrong, beautiful women.
No, good. That's a good quality to remind men. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I've always said I have a high tolerance for caffeine and sassy women.
Hey, sassy women make the world go around. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And I love a good Southern sass too. That is something that I have learned to appreciate so much.
Very deep.
It is.
Learned it from the best too.
Oh yeah.
Well, yes. All the women in her family will so bless your heart, if you know what I mean.
Real bad if they bake you a casserole after they bless your heart. It's like a new level. There's no hope for you.
There is no hope. No, I get it. Well, these are good things to know. See, I feel like I've been let into a nice little secret of Southern culture at this point. So thank you for that feedback.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely am so excited about the fall line, the Christmassy holiday kind of line that's coming up. You guys have that new mug, which I see Andrew is drinking out of.
I have been modeling the new mug.
Yes. Which one did you got?
I got the cranberry
colored
one. Yeah.
Do you?
But we
okay.
have mugs coming. That particular model is sold out. But we have some diner style mugs coming. We're looking at some cold drink tumblers.
Awesome.
And of course, we're going to have more apparel too. We've got a nice hoodie design coming together. And we've got a terrific package for the holidays called the 12 Days of Coffee. Tell them about that.
Love it.
So the idea with the 12 days of coffee is we have expanded our coffee line so much, obviously, like we've been talking about in the last 8-9 months. And it's to help people try different kinds of our coffee. So it is 12 different varieties. 6 of them are flavored coffees, and 6 of them are espressos or single origin.
Okay.
And they come in 4.5 ounce bags. So it's perfect for like a regular pot of coffee or doing 2 pour over cups. You can do that. And that whole package, it's about 3.5 pounds of coffee.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
it
great.
is available for pre-order on our website right now for $55.
Yep.
And
that's great.
We're so excited about that. It comes gift wrapped already. So Christmas wrapping for a lot of people and families is too much. So it comes already decorated, ready to go. Set it under the tree.
It'll be the best smelling gift under the tree. I'll tell you that.
So true. So true.
Yeah, you open it up and you've got coffee in there for a minimum of 12 days, probably 2 weeks for some people. And every day you can have something different.
Something
and share
different.
With those you love.
Yeah. And I think, Ashley, you brought up another good point, or both of you did. Even if you don't want to gift the whole set, you could buy it and actually parcel it out, so you have little stocking stuffers for people. Or
if you have a big family, it'd be perfect. Everybody gets a different variety in their stocking. So we're really excited about it. We had a lot of customers say they wanted to be able to try it in smaller bags without a pound.
I think that's a great way to actually get a chance to sample the flavors and all of the different varieties, which is so nice. So we may actually do that.
Nightmare.
Was it? Oh God, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I mean, all of our packaging has to be FDA approved.
Right.
And has to just the labeling, the packaging. Probably one of the biggest projects we've undertaken is this Christmas package that will be gone in January.
Right. Well, will you ever do it again? Now that you've been through it?
Not until then, though.
You're like, we're good. We'll wait for a year.
Now that it's all set up, and we were talking about this last night, now that all that work is done, it would be easier.
Of course.
To do a smaller version or another version.
Yeah.
I'm still, but
I get it.
It depends on what happens. We're hoping for a quick sellout, and then, because I am Scrooge McDuck, as he says, I, definitely would do it again if that was the case. But
of course,
no, ma'am.
No, absolutely, and don't do anything that honestly isn't at the end of the day worth it. It's
exactly.
So don't put yourself through that. Well, since we did 12 days of coffee, I always end my interviews with 10 questions.
Okay.
Quick fire, and you both have to. I think you should trade off, so you can't cheat off of each other. Like someone gives a good answer, so trade off of these. If you are a fan of Inside the Actors Studio, you might recognize either the 10 questions he always asks. James Lipton always asks them. Yes, they were, and they came originally from Bernard Pivot's series, Bouillon de Culture, which is a French series. Exactly, very fancy, very fancy. I actually love this because it tells a lot about somebody, and just is a very free association, quick fire questionnaire. So who's going to start? Okay, who's starting off?
No, you go first.
All right. Now I want you both have to answer every question though.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So number 1, what is your favorite word?
Thanks.
Velvet.
That's a.
I don't know. I like the fact.
This message brought to you by the Velvet Council.
That's right, for sure. That is the most. You take the cake for originality.
I like people to be gracious. I love the idea of gratitude.
Absolutely.
It has been a very big, important part of our business is the gratitude we have for our customers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What is y'all's least favorite word?
Oh, I got this one. Moist.
I'd say underqualified. I don't like that word.
Yeah. Okay.
No such thing.
Yeah, I dig both of them. I mean, yep. I won't say it because you don't like it, but Ashley, it is an unpleasant sound. Oh my gosh. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
You go first.
Just the process, I guess. I love the process. Sometimes I think that the COVID thing was a blast because it allowed us to really almost start from scratch.
Yeah.
And the process where you have to scramble and come up with new ideas is inspiring to me.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, I second that. We call it scheming and planning, and it is literally our favorite thing to do.
It's a blast.
I get it. I agree.
But
what turns
please,
you
2020,
off?
no more.
No more.
No, we're done. This year has done what it needed to do. I appreciate it. But I'm done. We need to move on. A whole year's worth of figuring your life out and your shit out is enough. We're good. We if those who learned from it will be great. Those who didn't, they can do it on their own time at this point. I'm done. So what turns y'all off?
Moist. She would say my Crocs. She's always like,
I hate his Crocs.
I wear them around the house like house shoes.
I set him on fire once, and that was not a good move. So bad.
She says it's the ultimate turn off is my Crocs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. Crocs. I gotcha. That makes sense. Although they are comfortable.
In the house, they're wonderful. In the house or in Walmart, anywhere else. Don't wear your
It's not
Crocs.
appropriate. Yeah, I get that. I do.
Yeah.
Now, this is my favorite question of this because I love some of the varieties of things that I've come up with. What's your favorite curse word?
Decaf.
What is the point of decaf? I really want to know. Because isn't there even a trace amount of caffeine in decaf?
There is, like up to 5%.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not really decaf.
I think my favorite cuss word is son of a bitch. And
That's a good one.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
And in the South, it's one word, just all word together. Son of a bitch.
That's right. It's
I like
accurate.
that one a lot.
That's a good one. But decaf, I would agree. There's no point to it. There's just not a point.
There's a church sign near us, and yesterday they changed it. Did you see it? It said decaf is, and then nothing. Like, that church has a wild sense of humor.
I love it.
Dad doing their little
dad jokes.
Yes.
Hey, it's okay. Sometimes those are great. Sometimes you just sit there and think to yourself, "Oh gosh, okay." What sound or noise do you guys love?
The sound that my phone makes when we get a pay.
That's a good sound, isn't it? Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck.
It's true. There's nothing wrong with that.
The cliche one would be the ding when the coffee maker's done. Yeah. But no, we were watching puppy videos before this, and I was talking about when a puppy like sticks his nose in you, he's like,
yes.
That
all
sound,
up in your face.
I love that.
Yes.
That is good stuff. When puppies want to sniff you so hard,
yes.
they sniff 100 times a second. That's cute.
Oh no, guaranteed. And the fact that my puppy, we decided to take on a puppy during the pandemic, and
congratulations.
She is doing amazingly well quietly. I'm watching her lay on the bed going, how is this even possible? Because otherwise she's teething, or as Eric says, it's either sleeping or up for foolishness is what she's about.
2 speeds.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Like
what sound or noise do you guys hate?
Oh, well, I know what he's going to say.
Ooh.
Well, it's probably another pet. She has a 23-year-old cat. Lately has decided, with the time change, that 5 a.m. is the time to start screaming.
Oh, no.
5 a.m.
But listen, if we all live to be 210-year-old in people years, just expect me to be queen bitch too.
Right.
I mean, really.
I get it.
That noise.
I get it. Wow.
I don't like, we have a woodpecker in our neighborhood that just comes up like on our house time in the morning. He wakes me up, but the cat doesn't. So I would say the woodpecker.
Well, yeah, I get that. That would do it for, especially if it's an early morning kind of thing, and you're like, okay, really, this is not what I wanted today. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
What do you think?
I always, when I was a little kid, I thought I was going to be a rock star,
Gotcha.
like a professional musician.
Yeah.
And it formed a lot of my education through my undergraduate college years. And it was soon after graduation, really my senior year of college, I realized this is just not going to happen.
Right.
I would love to be recognized that way as a musician, not as a coffee guy.
I don't know. I would probably say I love fashion. I love thrifting. I'd love to own like a private
boutique
consignment, like a consignment store boutique.
You kick butt at that.
Yeah,
you would
she'd
really
be great at that.
She would be, absolutely. She's got a lot of good personal style. You'll see when you check out their website. They both do. Well, I'm not gonna just, I'm gonna speak to both of you on this one.
He's got good style.
I know, for sure.
I just wear what she puts out for me.
That's nice. Good deal. Question: what profession would you never want to attempt?
I never want to work for a cell phone company again.
Now that you've done it, you're like, no, we're good.
I wouldn't want to be a dance instructor.
Why? He doesn't have to.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
Dance for one TikTok video. And she said, "I'm never going to ask you to dance again. You're terrible dancer."
Okay, well, that's fair.
We all have friends.
We do. We absolutely do. And our last question of what has been an amazing interview. Thank you guys for spending so much time with me. And I'll get poetic in a second on that. But the last question of the 10 is, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
This was always my favorite James Lipton question.
Yes.
And here's what, and so I did think about this one in advance. I would like God to say, or that supreme being, I would like to say to me, instead of putting you with the dead coffee people, we're going to put you with the dead rock stars.
Nice.
Build my mansion of gold somewhere between Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
What does he say to you, he or she? It'd be a goddess.
Goddess, for sure. I think just get on in here, you crazy kid, because that's like the spirit that I'm trying to live my life. So.
I get that. Absolutely. I tell you, I love both of those answers, and I love both of you guys. You guys are literally helping to lift spirits. You're teaching people who have never done coffee at home before how to actually up their game. You are educating, you are inspiring, you are entertaining.
Wow.
And
I mean, really.
What?
To get through that door.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I apologize in advance, Andrew, for that. But regardless, you got to be I have to be real. You have lifted a lot of people's spirits during a time in our lives that is very trying. And to do that also while going through your own stuff is a huge gift that I can't thank you enough for, because it takes a lot of courage and a lot of determination to turn that smile on even when you're thinking about your own stuff and realizing I can make my own way in this. I control my own destiny in this, and I can either fold my hand of cards or I can play the hand of cards I was dealt. And the more that I see people actually going all in and saying, what was this phrase that you guys say all the time?
What choice do we have?
What choice do you have?
Or the old gambling one, you can't win if you never play.
100%.
That's another one. And with what TikTok has taught us is the more frequency of your plays, the more likely of your wins. Their algorithms like pulling a slot machine. But yeah, the more frequency of plays, the more likely of a win.
Yeah.
And you'll never win if you don't play.
That's
Absolutely.
And also, what choice do we have? And also, you're so right. Like there were times we cried ourselves to sleep, and got up the next day and smiled for the camera.
I know. And at the end of the day, it's a metaphor for people who have that tenacity. And that's what's great about us as a people, is if the tenacity to keep going, even when the chips are not necessarily in your favor.
Right.
But that's a true inspirational story, and I want to see you guys go global. That's my thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll drag you along.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. So I want you to go global and share your coffee with the world. And I know that there are probably people around the world who are saying, can you deliver here, or can you ship here, or whatever? I don't know what that process looks like, but
we're on our way, Anna.
good for you guys.
You're predicting the future. We're going global with this thing.
Good. Well, you deserve it. And thank you for entertaining us and for delivering us the best coffee that I have ever had in my life. And no offense, I am an angel food girl. I adore that flavor.
It's good.
It's great. Low acidity blend.
Yes.
Natural vanilla cream, all natural.
Oh my God.
Find it at pedaljava.com.
Oh my God. Y'all, don't hesitate. Seriously. If you have any hesitation, just do it.
Pull the trigger.
Do it.
Angel food.
Well, this has been another insanely good episode of Authentically You. And this is the Pedal Java crew, the masterminds behind it, Ashley and Andrew. And thank you for spending so much time with us today. And have an amazing 2020 to 2021, full of the end of this, whatever this has been.
Yes.
But the continuing of good things for you guys.
On to the next theme.
Amen. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye.